The basmala is to say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. There are virtues for the basmala. The virtues of the basmala are very many. But the main two reasons for saying the basmala is to follow the example of the Quran. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala started the Quran with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. And to the rest of the Surah Al-Fatiha. So Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala started off the Quran with this ayah, with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. We say also, the second reason is to get barakah. So we say it tabarrukan, seeking blessings from Allah by taking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's name, by using Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's name. Al-Imam Abu Hamid al-Ghazali, who was the mujaddid of the 6th century after the hijrah of the Prophet ﷺ, who was a great scholar of Islam, one of the greatest of all time. May Allah Ta'ala have mercy on his soul. He used to say, one of the things that he used to say, and it makes a lot of sense if we look into it, inshallah, and I want brothers to write this down, inshallah, if you're able to, that maratibul wujudi arba'a, there are 4 levels of existence. The existence has 4 levels. Existence is 4 levels. Wujudun bil, y'all ready? Wujudun bil lisan, existence on a person's tongue. There is the existence on a person's tongue for them to mention a thing. Like a person may say, for instance, fire. Right? Wujudun bil banan, existence of that thing in writing. If a person write down, for instance, fire, F-I-R-E. Or if they were to draw, maybe a person knows how to draw really well, they can draw the depiction of fire, right? Person know how to draw, they can draw fire, draw something that looks like fire. Or they could write the word fire, any language. They could write fire, they can write now, you know, that's also fire. Noon, Aleph, Ra. That's fire also in the Arabic language. So a person can write it. So that is another level of existence. The existence of something when it's written. Wujudun bil adhan, the existence of something as it is perceived in one's mind. The existence of something as it is perceived in somebody's mind. And then the 4th level, wujudun bil a'yan, the existence of something in itself. The actual existence of that thing in itself. So a person may think of fire in their mind. That would be wujudun bil adhan. That's existence of something in a person's mind. Meaning that a person may imagine fire in their mind. A person may write down fire on a piece of paper. Say fire, or write or draw a picture of fire. Or a person may say fire with their tongue. But the true existence of fire, the actual existence of fire, is the actual fire itself, the fire that burns. Or else, when a person would say fire, their tongue would burn. Fire would come out of their mouth, if it was the actual fire in itself. Or, when a person write down the word fire, the page should catch on fire. If it was the actual fire itself, when a person wrote fire on a piece of paper, it should catch on fire, or it should burn. If a person drew a fire on a paper, if it was the actual existence, the true existence in the self of that fire, the actual essential existence of fire, then the essence of that fire would have made that paper burn when he wrote it on a piece of paper. So these are levels of existence, but the actual existence of fire is a fire in itself. Not even how a person conceives fire, because if a person was to conceive or think of fire or imagine fire in their mind, it's not the actual fire, or else their head would catch on fire. Their heart or their brain or wherever they're thinking, that would become inflamed by thinking of fire. So that's not the actual fire. These are expressions of the fire. But the actual true fire is the fire in itself. the fire in itself. So these things are indications of the fire, but they're not the actual fire, because the effect that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has tied with fire when it touches something is absent. Because the effect that Allah ta'ala gave to fire when it comes in contact with something is that it burns. Fire doesn't burn by itself, but Allah ta'ala gave it this effect when it touches something that can be burned. It catches on fire. So when we see when this didn't happen, then we know that that's not the actual fire that we all know to be fire itself. Right? So then, we say the name Allah. We write down the name Allah. You see? We may even think of Allah, but in reality, we can't think of Him. All we can think of is that He is the one who deserves all the perfection and is free from all the faults. But we can't think about Allah Ta'ala Himself, because there's nothing like Him to even think of. There's nothing comparable to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. In fact, if a person, when they think of Allah, they think of a body, that person has misbelief in Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. If a person, when they imagine Allah, their imagination takes them to a physical, tangible thing, or a shape, or a size, or any of those type of things, if they imagine something, or something is depicted in their mind that this is Allah, that person has not understood who Allah is, and they have misbeliefs and misconceptions about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is even more reason to listen to this course. When we think of Allah, we think of an essence and existence that has all perfections and that is free from any imperfections. When we're saying imperfections, that includes all the perfections of His creations. Not just all the imperfections that we know of: death, hunger, poverty, inability, ignorance, all these things. Allah doesn't have those. Even what we perceive to be knowledge, that's created knowledge. We have no idea what uncreated knowledge is. When we say life, we imagine created life. We have never seen or have no idea what uncreated life is. When we say sight, all we know is created sight. Sight that has a beginning and that has an end. Sight that if a person put a piece of paper in front of that individual, they can't see. The sight that we understand is a sight that happens from one angle. It has a point, a starting point from that sight, and an ending point to that sight. We don't know a sight that encompasses everything all at one time. We don't understand that sight. So Allah Ta'ala, sight actually is a quality of perfection. But Allah Ta'ala is above even the perfection of His creatures. So this quality of perfection that we all perceive, that we all know and understand, Allah Ta'ala is exalted beyond that too. So then Allah Ta'ala, He is exalted. When we think of Allah, we should not think of a thing, a tangible physical thing. If a person is thinking Allah Ta'ala is a big being sitting on a throne, that person needs to embrace Islam over again. That person needs to embrace Islam over again. Because they gave Allah Ta'ala a size, a shape, a direction, a form. They basically resembled Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to animals. Human being is a created animal. The definition, the Arabic definition of a human being, when we get into the science of logic, when we put things into different categories, when we class things, the class that humans fall into is called al-hayawan al-natiq, which means the talking animal. The talking animal. Human being is a living, animated thing. He's not like a tree that it is alive but it can't move, or a lot of plants that they're alive but they're stuck in the ground. He's an animal in that sense that he's able to move. He has animation. He's moving. He's doing. He has blood. He has heart that's beating. And he's able to articulate. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught him how to articulate. Allamahul bayan. Like Allah Ta'ala says in the Quran, He taught him how to clarify himself, how to speak. So we don't compare Allah Ta'ala to the created animals of this world that He created. Even though this is an intelligent animal, this is something Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave an intellect to. But still, at the lowest form, at the most basic form, we are animals. Not when we say an animal, not like non-human animals, but we're an animal in the sense that we eat, drink, sleep, use the bathroom like animals do. We're in a physical body that's shedding hair and shedding skin and eating and sleeping, and it has spit in our mouth and it has things in our intestines that we have to clear out every few hours. That's what we are. If you look at a goat, it's pretty much the same thing. Look at a bear, look at a cow, pretty much the same thing. But Allah has honored us over the animal world. Allah has honored us